It's another chilly morning in the glistening Arctic village, where sunlight bounces off sparkling ice, casting dancing shadows. Snow-covered rooftops glisten and frosty, breath hangs in the crisp air. Our hero, Blizzy the round-eyed penguin, along with his best friend Torta the turtle, are having a grand time fishing on a frozen lake. Their task is simple: hook some fish for lunch. But little do they know that danger is lurking beneath the ice, shaking the very foundations of their frozen world. As Blizzy pulls in his line, a low rumble shakes the ice. It seems like the entire frozen lake is vibrating. With a start, Blizzy glances at Torta, who has a confused expression on his face. Just then, a large crack appears in the ice. Several fish jump out of the hole and dart away. What's going on? Blizzy wonders, alarmed. Before he can figure it out, he feels himself slipping into the hole. He flails, trying to grab onto something, anything, but it seems like this might be the end for him. But suddenly, strong flippers grab onto his own and pull him up to the surface. Ha ha, gotcha, Blizzy. Torta surfaces beside him, grinning from ear to ear. You sure gave me a fright, Blizzy stammers, catching his breath. But what was that noise? The two friends look at each other. Suddenly, the ground shakes again, and this time it feels much stronger. Whatever it is, it's coming closer. And then they see it, a dark cloud rising from a distance, getting bigger by the second. The two friends turn to see the grumpy village elder, Frost Whisker, waddling towards them. His face is etched with concern. Something big is happening, he says, his voice trembling slightly. Then, pointing to the dark cloud in the distance, he adds, "We have to go see." With a mix of curiosity and apprehension, Blizzy and Torta follow the elder. The closer they get, the darker the cloud becomes, blocking out the sun and plunging the landscape into an eerie gloom. Suddenly, the rumble from before returns, louder than ever. That noise is coming from the volcano, Frost Whisker says grimly. I haven't seen it this active for a long time. Blizzy and Torta exchange a worried glance. The volcano is a legendary peak that has been dormant for generations. Its slopes usually glisten with sparkling ice as beautiful as the northern lights. But today, it looks like a beast awakening, exhaling smoke from its fiery nostrils. The three approach cautiously, keeping a safe distance from the rumbling giant. As they near the base of the volcano, Blizzy and Torta hear a faint splashing sound mixed with the rumble. The elder frowns, tilting his head to listen. There's someone or something in there, he says, his whiskers twitching. Legend tells of a rare fish that lives in the volcano, the emberfin, whose scales can withstand the intense heat and whose skin holds the power to warm the entire village during the coldest winters. Could that be the source of the commotion? Blizzy wonders. The idea of a magical fish trapped in a volcano both excites and terrifies him. As they stare into the smoke-filled crater, Torta's eyes gleam with excitement. We should save the emberfin, he says, already taking steps forward. But Blizzard grabs his arm, pulling him back. Wait, I don't think we should go any closer, he says. You never know what could happen. Torta considers this, his excitement fading slightly. Well, he says finally, we won't know unless we try. And before Blizzy can protest, he's already bounding toward the volcano, determined to reach the mysterious emberfin. Following Torta, Blizzy and the elder enter a narrow tunnel carved into the side of the volcano. The air grows warmer the deeper they go, the sound of rushing water echoing around them. After a while, they reach the end of the tunnel and find themselves in a massive cavern. The ceiling is high overhead, and the walls shimmer with an otherworldly glow. In the center of the cavern, a sparkling waterfall cascades from the icy ceiling into a pool of molten lava below. Rising from the lava is a small island, and perched atop is a rock, crystal clear, but with an opening at the top. And inside, Blizzy can make out the shape of a fish, the legendary emberfin. But the waterfall is not only a barrier. Between them and the fish, it's also an incredibly dangerous one. Blizzy, however, is determined to help the emberfin. I want to save the fish, he says to the others. But how? Suddenly, Torta perks up. He thinks he might have an idea. I'll tie a stick to my tail and use it like a hook, he says. Then I can fish out the emberfin. Blizzy stares at Torta, unsure if this is the smartest plan. But before he can say anything, Torta is already dipping his tail into the lava. Ooh, this is hot, 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 he cries, quickly pulling his tail back out. The tip of the stick has melted into a hook shape. With a triumphant grin, Torta takes the hook and casts it into the waterfall, aiming for the opening of the cave. But before the hook can reach the island, a trio of Arctic foxes pounce out from behind some rocks. Sorry, but we're going to do it ourselves, says one of the foxes, a vixen with cunning eyes. Her two companions flank her, blocking Torta and Frost Whisker from reaching the waterfall. These are the Flamefurs, notorious for their tricks and their greed. Blizzy isn't intimidated. He may be smaller and weaker than the Flamefurs, but he's got speed and agility on his side. Taking a deep breath, he charges forward, dodging the Flamefurs' snapping jaws. We're not giving up, he yells as he weaves between them, trying to get to the waterfall. But the Flamefurs are quick. They block Blizzy's path, their eyes gleaming with malicious delight. Torta watches, helpless as Blizzy gets cornered. Suddenly, the ground beneath them begins to shake and the lava rises, spilling over the edges of the pool. The waterfall is about to erupt. See ya, Slowpokes taunts the vixen, leaping onto the island with the fish. She reaches for the emberfin, but Blizzy, remembering the elder's words about the fish's magical scales, rushes forward, diving under the vixen's paws. She squeals in surprise as he slides past her and yanks on a lever hidden in the rocks. With a grinding sound, the rock at the base of the waterfall splits open, revealing a passage leading to the fish. Quickly, Blizzy slips inside. The cavern is filled with steam, making it hard to see. Coughing, he bumps into something wet and slimy. Sorry, he squeaks, and the creature slithers away. Then he sees it, the emberfin, shimmering in the dim light. With trembling fins, Blizzy reaches for the fish, but the ground shakes again. Lava spills over the edge of the pool and is rising fast. If the emberfin is to be saved, he must act fast. But how? Just then, Blizzy remembers the lever he moved earlier. He turns back and swims through the passage, hoping it will lead him to another entrance. The shaking grows stronger, and Blizzy feels a sense of urgency. The fate of the emberfin, and possibly his own, hangs in the balance. The steam clears and Blizzy finds himself in a new part of the cavern. He looks back, realizing he's on the opposite side from the waterfall. But the rumbling and the vixen's frustrated screams tell him everything he needs to know. The volcano is about to blow, and then he sees it, a narrow tunnel leading to the outside. Hope surges through him. If he can get to the top of the volcano, he might be able to guide the villagers to safety. Slithering through the tight space, Blizzy emerges onto the volcano's peak. The view is breathtaking, but it's all too short-lived. The cavern collapses behind him, sealing his fate, or is it? Looking down, Blizzy sees the frozen lake from earlier. With a burst of energy, he dives off the peak, aiming for the water. As the volcano erupts behind him, Blizzy struggles to keep himself from freezing as he plummets toward the lake. But just as he's about to hit the water, a familiar figure grabs his tail. Hang on, Blizzy, shouts Torta, helping him climb onto a piece of ice. They slide down the volcano, whooping with joy as the wind whips through their fur and feathers. The Flamefurs, trapped at the top by the collapsing cavern, watch in dismay as the two heroes slide to safety. The villagers erupt in cheers when they see Blizzy and Torta return with the emberfin. The fish's magical scales are placed in the village's frost pool, where its warmth slowly melts the encroaching frost. Ensuring the village will survive the harshest winter, Blizzy, hailed as a hero, feels a surge of pride. But he knows it was Torta's quick thinking and bravery that really saved the day. The two friends, their bond strengthened by their adventure, share a knowing glance. They may be different, but together they're unstoppable. As the northern lights dance across the night sky, the penguins celebrate with stories, songs, and laughter. The legend of the frozen volcano escape lives on, reminding them that even in the coldest of winters, the spark of friendship and courage can warm the heart.